Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Postal 4, the sequel to Postal 2. The hell are you talking about? Alright, so let's get into the game and I'll explain... Okay, you need to find a job. Yeah, sure, don't worry about it. Let's get into the game and I'll compare it a little bit to Postal 2, tell you why it's a sequel to that game and not Postal 3, because, well, I'll tell you right now, because Postal 3 is a tragedy, a travesty, an insult to God, man, and everything that is good and holy in this world, and honestly should never have existed. Now, this is the very first day of Postal 4, and it's the, very start of the game. So, reason being, I don't want to spoil anything. Hungry and homeless down on lockdown for dirty jobs. Let's go down for dirty jobs. Obvious. We'll work your dick. Really? Okay. So, for those of you that haven't played Postal 2, I think I can summarize this game by doing one thing. Yeah. Also, yeah, that's basically Postal 2 in a nutshell, right? Along with very witty humor and fun, interesting, charismatic, or otherwise insane and psychopathic characters that seem to be missing a little bit here, but I'll get to it towards the end of the video. Let's start with the easier and the obvious stuff. Arnu's Inn. This is the 6th time I'm walking past this building, and every time it distracts me. Visually, the game borrows quite a lot from Postal 2 and makes it a little bit more graphically modern, but it is relatively cartoony, and I think especially when you walk into... Why? Because I stepped... Please don't. Oh. Damn. Okay. Guys, very early access. This is Alpha 0.1. This is not a game. This is a proof of concept, right? And the game's it's nowhere near an alpha state that's presentable, let alone being in beta or being done. This is just a proof of concept. Like, the vast majority of these buildings have unfinished interiors and so on and so forth. But, I think if we go into here... Yeah. That's a scene from Postal, by the way. Except it's mixed with The Sims for some reason. And that's Pac-Man. Hi. Yeah. I'll get to that in a bit. Epic? Oh, Epic? I thought his name was Eric and that thing said Eric. Alright, never mind. So, Postal 2 was basically a large, fun, open-world FPS where you get to muck around with people in all sorts of ways, using fun little items like, not just the weapons, but there was food that you can use to heal yourself, which was kind of, for me, always fun to collect because it had more uses than just healing. You can feed cats and dogs with it. Now, cats is... Can I not pick it up? It is an item, they just haven't... they haven't put it in the game properly. Alright. You can feed cats and dogs, and they would protect you. Well, the cats wouldn't, but the dogs would protect you if you would feed them, and you can get an army of dogs to, basically act as a weapon for you. Just kick one of the random passers-by, and they'll go after him until they've torn him to absolute bits. There's all sorts of these little fun moments and experiences I can talk to you about, and I will mention a couple of them, but for now, suffice it to say that it had a ton of content in it, and you could explore the world and find all of these various different stories that weren't connected to the main quote-unquote mission or quest. Instead, they were connected to the world itself. For example, you would find demons, and this is sort of like an Easter egg, but it's a less known Easter egg. You would find demons and hellhounds underneath the bank in the sewers. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, and it was never connected to any quests or anything. You could just go there and find them. The world was pretty darn big, and it was hilarious, and the humor was over the top, obnoxious, pretty much like the entire game. To give you a sort of sense of things, you would go to buy, you basically go to buy milk, and if you don't pay for the milk, the cashier would, you know, try and shoot you with his M16, or was it M4, I don't remember. But, you know, if you pay, then, you know, fair enough, you need to wait in line, which is stupidly long. But the game let you do it, you know, you had your own freedom of choice when it came to that. However, what was pretty interesting was the store was run by some sort of Indian terrorist ninja gang of women. Yeah, they're upstairs or in the basement, I don't exactly remember. Oh, for crying out loud. For the love of God. I don't know how to holster the gun. I mean, I can do this. Yes. Embrace it. Just embrace it. Excellent. Alright, sure, let's drop the gun and then we'll walk around like this so as to not get shot at by absolutely everyone. I think the job agency was up here. Should probably get over there. Anyways, the game was an absolute laugh. I'll give you one more example of the sort of over-the-top nature of it. It made fun of ethnic minorities and ethnic groups. For example, at one point you would get kidnapped by rednecks, and their leader was Joe Billy Bob. That's one person, Joe Billy Bob. Yeah, I probably might as well do the accent Joe Billy Bob. Anyways, point being, it made fun of absolutely everything and nothing was holy. It also turned every single Muslim in the game into a terrorist. With Molotov cocktails, suicide grenades, and assault rifles. Literally every single one of them. And they all look like Osama bin Laden. Yeah. I know, right? Anyways, oh, I love this as well. You could go around people's homes and you know, ransack them, murder them, whatever you want. You can do that to them. And they would set others on fire as well when they ran. Just like this, pretty much. And they had no way of putting themselves out, and they would burn to a crisp like so. You lasted way less than, or way shorter of a time than she did. Also, there's not enough burn marks. I mean, what is this? No? Alright, it's a little bit finicky. Again, a very early alpha. So, here's the thing. The game borrows quite a lot from Postal 2, except the humour. You heard the joke about Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. You saw some of the jokes in the game already. Like, it's too direct. Postal 2, believe it or not, even with all its over-the-top absurdity and insanity, wasn't that direct. Some of the jokes you wouldn't get. Some of them made you think a little bit. Obviously, you didn't need to be a genius to understand all of them. They're fairly obvious, but they're not that in your face. And also, some of these, I'm sorry to say, just aren't funny. I mean, there was a mission in I think it was the Wednesday or the Tuesday mission, or Thursday mission. It was one of those 3 days, I don't remember. Monday was milk and job. One of them was library day. The other one was mall day. The final mission was absurd, absolutely absurd, and ended with the literal apocalypse, and with a great pun of raining cats and dogs, where it literally rained cats. And dogs? Not sure about the dogs, but pretty sure it rained cats. Anyways, one of the missions had you walking around getting people to sign your petition. That was funny, unlike this. Again, very early in the development process. I don't expect most of the dialogue is here, but it seems a little bit too direct in trying to provoke a response, like the entire Bill Cosby thing. It's just not... I don't care that it's how political it is, you know, it's like, oh, it's a politically insensitive joke or whatever. I don't care, I'm the last person to care about stuff like that. It's just not very funny, is the problem. Humor being relatively subjective, you're going to find people that are going to tell you it's completely subjective. No, it absolutely isn't. There's a science behind it. Anyways, alright, that's a little bit better. Yeah, it's not quite the same, you know, it's still the same sort of childish, juvenile humor. It's basically a sandbox for adults that are still children on the inside, right? Immature children, for immature adults, basically, this is what this game was and is. But, you know, that's better than the previous one. Anyways, I hope the humor gets refined a little bit here and there, but other than that, it looks like a promising concept. Obviously, there's, like, years of work ahead of this development studio, but if you would have told me a year ago that I would be reviewing or making a first impressions video, or, you know, highlighting the fact that the Postal 4 is getting released, I would have told you you're delusional. But no, you know, miracles do happen, and one of my favourite games of all time is getting, well, not even a remake, right? It's just getting a sequel. And it continues the story from Postal 2 as well. That's pretty good, you know. That's I mean, all of this is pretty good, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, is there anything else I wanted to say? Well, yeah, the entire game is a massive nostalgia trip. If you haven't played Postal 2, go and play it. Even today, I don't care how old the game is. Get your hands on it, go and play it, and matter of fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now that I've made a sort of, you know, video that sort of generally explains what the game is like and all that, I'm going to go and play the other one, and I'm going to show you the sort of... I'm going to show you more precisely what I mean, right? There's music. That music might be copyrighted, I don't know, so let's get out. Not that this video is going to get monetized anyway after all the shit I've done. Anyways, the game's kind of unstable and might crash on me, so can I save? No, I can't. Crap. Alright, so I'm going to wrap this video up, because this is like the third time I'm recording it because it crashes and the footage gets corrupt every time. But, point being, it's a great idea. It's full of nostalgia, both visually, both from the characters, the weapons, the sounds in-game as well when you hit something, the arcade machines, so on and so forth. So it's a huge nostalgia trip, and yeah, I hope it gets finished, I hope it gets the attention it deserves, because it's freaking phenomenal, right? It really, really is. Or at least Postal 2 was, and this sort of looks like it really wants to not only remake that game, but be a spiritual and well, not just spiritual, in every way a successor to that game, so yeah. We'll see how it works. Again, 0.01 alpha, don't judge this in terms of being good or bad, this is just a proof of concept, right? A rough idea on a drawing board, except it was put into pixels, right? It's like, this is the sort of thing we want to make, you get the general idea of what we're doing, right? That's how I'm going to treat it, and yeah. Got even the walking animations are a little bit... Postal 2 had some silly walking animations on some of its characters on purpose, because it wanted to make them, like, you know, the snobbish ones walk snobbishly and so on and so forth. It was a terrific game. I'm going to do a video on it, like, right after this one. But, yeah, Postal 4 exists, and it looks like it's going to continue where Postal 2 left off decades ago. So I'm pretty excited, and, yeah, I hope you guys are as well. If you have any questions about the game or about Postal 2, feel free to ask me. I've played that game for hundreds, if not thousands of hours when I was younger, so yeah. Anyways, that was about it. Thank you very much for watching. Tell me your favourite moment from Postal 2 if you... I never really do these, like, you know, tell me something in the comments video or whatever. That's actually not that true, but I seldom do these, but I'm interested to hear. Tell me your favourite moments in Postal if you've played the game, Postal 2 that is, if you've played the game and have some of those, because, let's see, well for me it would be the demons under the entire thing, the elephants. You could provoke the elephants ever so slightly and stealthily, and they would go around murdering people. Yeah, they would escape the sort of circus area, and heaven forbid you had to take one down because they were tough as hell. But yeah, there's just all sorts of things. Then the various different characters that you would meet throughout the quote-unquote story missions as well were quite fun. Here, early alpha, not going to comment on it yet, but I hope they stick to that formula, and I hope they stick to the humour and the style of humour a lot more than basically what I've been shown so far. Anyways, I think that's about it from me for this video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down. I keep messing my own outro up after, I don't know, about, what, 3 or 4 years of doing the same outro. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video and want to stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on the channel. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.